The mathematics of old age, escaping the rat race. Welcome to the 6th note in season 3 of this podcast. If you're joining us for the first time today, my name is Murphy, and on this podcast I talk about everything from career to finances to everyday experiences and valuable life lessons I learned from books and people. Episodes drop every Sunday and range from 5 to 10 minutes. Hit the subscribe or follow button to get notified when new notes are released. And by all means, like, share, and leave a 5-star rating if you think these notes are impactful. There's someone on your timeline I need to reach. That being said, let's get down to business. Let me share a few thoughts with you about the mathematics of old age. The average person is living their life according to a script. A few weeks ago, I talked about how I'd aspire to have my PhD at 25 and start working to earn a living thereafter. Now that's because I was following a script that was influenced by my immediate environment, the things I'd seen and heard a lot that now felt like a natural sequence of life. You may not agree with me at first, but you just might be following the script too. So let me tell you what feels like a natural order of things. And if you're African, particularly Nigerian, you just might be able to relate better with this. First, you're born at a time and under circumstances which you have absolutely no control over. You go to nursery, primary, and secondary schools. Then you get into a university or college to study. If you're lucky enough, you get to study your dream course, medicine, engineering, law, or some other course of study that is considered dignifying, which, by the way, are mostly influenced directly or indirectly by your parents or the people you look up to. Otherwise, you study whatever else you are given, which you are probably not so passionate about. Then you leave school and hopefully land a good job in the civil service or private sector. Awesome. Life just began. Now it's time to get married and have kids. Then what? You struggle for years to send your kids to school and provide a better life for them. Then what? You get a few promotions over the years, living from paycheck to paycheck and wondering if this is all there is to life, working hard, making money and paying bills. Then perhaps your company enrolls you into something called a pension scheme, where your retirement savings are held for the entire period of your active service. Good and fine. As the years go by and you get a few pay raises, you feel like your job still does not pay enough, so you opt for a higher paying job to meet up with your ever-increasing responsibilities. And of course, higher pay usually equates to higher stress. The cycle continues, and then somewhere after 30 or 40 years of hard work, you retire and begin to earn pension. Pensions and retirement benefits are good, but there are a few things about them that people do not realize until it's too late. Number one, your pension is usually significantly lower than your monthly income in active service. Could be even less than a third in some cases. Number two, and this is the sad reality, although your income has dropped remarkably, your expenses are very likely not reducing. In fact, they may even increase. Number 3, inflation rates and currency devaluation are going to further reduce the meager monthly allowances you are getting paid. Number 4, if during service you were entitled to some special benefits like housing, cars, or maybe some extra allowances outside of your salary, these are most likely going to be terminated, which further reduces your purchasing power. These 4 things I've mentioned are just a few of the challenges that come with old age and retirement. Let me tell you what these challenges imply. Number 1, if you do not prepare yourself properly for retirement starting now, you're going to be in trouble. A lot of people retire and are unable to afford basic things shortly after because they did not do the needful when they still had the opportunity. Number 2, you need a proper retirement plan, which is different from your pensions. You've already seen that pensions alone can't sustain your lifestyle, and except you want to start managing life after you retire, you need to think differently from the average person. Number 3, I know what you're thinking. I would have trained children who would take care of me in my old age. Well, I'm sorry, but it may not be a very beautiful assumption that your children are your retirement plan. I completely agree that children should take care of their parents in old age, but you need to understand that these children will also have other responsibilities and hence may not be able to meet up with all your needs. And by the way, nobody likes to be completely dependent on someone else for their everyday needs. So if you don't want to be in that situation, you need a better plan. Number 4, maybe you are also thinking of your gratuity, which is the lump sum you'll be given upon retirement. This money is usually enough to set up something, but even with that, you still need a solid plan. If your financial blueprint is faulty, that money will be gone in a twinkle. Number 5, maybe you are also thinking of manipulating your way through the system so that you can stay longer in active service. Well, even that is not a solid plan because you really don't want to be burnt out when you are old and feeble. And you still need to leave service at some point and pass the baton on to others. So what happens then? And with all of this said, here are the big questions. Have you thought about your old age? Have you ever done this mathematics before now? For how long do you intend to stay in the rat race, living from paycheck to paycheck and waiting for your retirement age when you can relax and depend on the government and your kids? What is your plan to escape from the rat race? Or do you simply take pride in working harder and harder to earn minor salary raises? There's got to be much more to life than that, don't you think? Do you have a survival plan beyond your years of active service? How are you going to sustain yourself after you take a bow from your regular 9 to 5? Do you intend to survive on a pension, or do you have a better game plan? Do you realize that this is the time to start planning for that inescapable reality? This is a real situation that affects everyone, and I'd like to hear your answers to some of these questions in the comments. Today's note is food for thought, and the primary aim is to get you thinking. You can start the discussion and perhaps you can generate ideas around it. I'll share a few more thoughts on this next week, but for today, I really want to hear your thoughts. I trust this was worth your time and I hope it got you thinking. Please share this with someone if you found it useful. I hope you have a lovely week ahead. Until I come your way again, keep being amazing. My name is Murphy Nnamdi Shoba.